Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Witch of Bees and Bones. It's early morning here. It's a very wintry day outside. It looks like Narnia. So I figured I would sit down and make a video about a deck that I've been using. I want to say for a long time, but this deck was on hiatus for years, which I'll talk a little bit more about later on in the video. I will give the caveat, I'm not sure what time my plow person will come to plow the driveway. So if you hear that, I'm sorry, but I'm just going to keep going with it unless it's horribly loud. So thank you. Also, thank you everyone for your comments and questions and submissions and all of that. And I appreciate so much that the content that I'm putting out is resonating with people. So if you're liking the videos and you're not already subscribed, please do. That would be great. I'd really appreciate it. So let's get going. So the deck I want to talk about today is the Magician's deck. Now this is an older deck. A lot of you may have already heard of it or have it, or have seen reviews of it. I've had her for, excuse me, I want to say, I tend to gender my decks female because I work a lot with the Divine Feminine. This deck, to me, is very non-binary. So I'm going to strive to refer to this deck as they, them, because I find it very unfair and inaccurate to gender this deck. So I just want to say that first. So this deck is not a frilly deck. It is not a fun deck. It is not a deck that is full of white light and rainbows. But if you're a person that is on a left-hand path, or you are a person digging really, really deep in your shadow work, this deck may be perfect for you. It will not lie to you. It will not lull you into a sense of false security. It will not stroke your hair and tell you everything is going to be okay. It will tell you when everything is burning down around you. So I just want to be really clear about that. If somebody's looking for a daily draw of kind of the feel-good variety, which I get, this is not that deck. This is the dig deep, do the work, and then maybe put the deck away for a while. I have had this deck for many, many years. I don't even know how many. I don't math. But I got this deck and I cleared it and I did my own spread the day I got it. And this deck blew my mind. I was shocked by the accuracy. I was shocked by the intensity. And I fell in love with this deck hard. And then there came a time where this deck was too hard. I was not in a great place. My world was technically probably burning down around me, and I didn't want to admit that, and I didn't want to see it, and I didn't want to feel it, and I certainly didn't want the cards telling me that. And yet when I would pull a card, it would be like, things are really fucked up. Like, you have the power to change this. And I didn't want to hear it. So I put this deck in its pouch for, without exaggerating, years and didn't touch it. Every once in a while, I would look at the pouch and I would give it reverence and respect, and then I would go on with my life. And it's not that I spent that whole time not being serious, because that situation evolved and things changed, and then I kind of went on with my life. But this is not a deck to use if you're feeling tender. Like if you're wounded, or if you're just in that place where everything hurts, this is not the deck to use for that. This is the deck of, I'm sick of this bullshit. I want to get my shit straight. I'm digging deep. I'm going to pick out all of the scabs and the wounds. This is the deck for you. It's deeply powerful. They are not to be fucked with. I cannot stress that enough. I don't want to scare people away from this deck, but I do want to speak to how intense and real it is. And the interesting thing about this deck is some of the imagery is really, excuse me, some of this imagery is really lovely, and it gives you a very feel good feeling about it. And that exists in this deck. I don't want to be like, oh, it's all dark, it's all negative. That is not the case at all. But it is serious as fuck. So the deck is divided up into 4 realms. So there is the inner realm, there is the underworld / death realm, there is the physical realm, and then there's the divine realm. And there's different colors on the outside of the borders of the cards. I will say I was doing some research recently about this deck, about purchasing another copy of it. The deck is still available, but this deck in particular is, I don't think they make this version any longer. So I know they make a new pocket version, and then they make another one where it's just the artwork. And I can't quite remember, if I'm being honest, how they tie in the realms, but I know they do. So that it does still exist, but I don't think this version does any longer. And I will link that information below for you. So here we go. So, you look at this deck, you look at this card, you're like, oh, gift of the past. That's a beautiful card. Okay. And there's hidden knowledge, also very beautiful, sacred geometry, wings. You're like, oh yeah, but this feels really good. And then you see cards like the Fate Taker, and you start to sense how serious this deck is. Again, the images are stunning, but there's a seriousness underneath it. Healer. Again, stunning, but you see the intensity. I don't think any of these cards have smiling people in them. That just occurred to me. Don't quote me on that, but to my knowledge, I don't remember anyone smiling in this deck. Let me see if I can get them. Scapegoat. Again, gorgeous. You can see this obviously being darker with the imagery. Death. And then we get to Abyss. And you think, oh, well, I mean, it's a little stark, but, And then you think about the times in your life that you felt like you were in the abyss, and how stark and how quiet and how terrifying it is. And this card reminds you of that. Let's see here. There's another card I'm looking for. This is the Dis-ease card. Again, the imagery is magnificent, but they are serious as can be. Protector of souls. Excuse me. When it's this cold, the furnace runs constantly and it just gets dry in here. Fate Giver. Again, not a smile. Not a single smile. This is an interesting card, the Regenerator. So, if I can, let me put that down. So you can see the snake here, and snakes, as you know, shed their skin, so it is often a symbol for regeneration. I happen to be a big fan of snakes. So this is a great card. It's a positive card, but you're also going to have to do the work to get here. It's not just going to show up on your doorstep for you. So uh, I've been using this deck more and more lately. We have become more acquainted. They kept saying, let's try this, and they have shown me the same honesty and intensity that they always have. Um, and I am in a place in the last several months. I'm in a very different place in my life where I just really I'm ready for the truth, and I'm doing my own digging deep again. I think that we process things and we heal from things, and then other things happen to us, and so we have to figure that out and heal from that. I don't know. This is a deck. Excuse me. I don't know that this is a deck that I would say you will use every day for the rest of your life. For me personally, and I can only obviously speak for myself, this is a deck where when I'm doing my shadow work, when I'm digging deep, when I really want answers, when I really want direction, and when I really want serious clarity, this is the deck I will go to. If I'm looking for a daily draw, this is not the deck. If I'm looking for the deck I bring with me when I travel, this is absolutely not the deck. This is the nitty-gritty. So I would love to know if any of you have this deck and what your thoughts are. As I said, if you don't have this deck and you're interested, if I haven't scared you away, which I hope I haven't, it's a beautiful deck, and it can really help you get some serious work done, but make sure you're in the right place for it before you do that. Um, I would love to hear what your thoughts are, and I will link it below. And as ever, I appreciate you all so very much, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.